civilizations about Africa and Australia? Come and join us!
Good day, Notre Dame. I am Ruben Villares, a third-year BSS Social Studies HB student of Notre Dame Provincial College. And for today's video, take a look at the places and landscape of Africa. First, Africa's history. There are 54 countries and one non-self-governing territory, the Western Sahara in Africa. All of Africa was colonized by foreign powers during the scramble for Africa, except Ethiopia and Liberia. Before colonial rule, Africa comprised of 10,000 different states and autonomous groups with distinct languages and customs. The Pharaonic civilization of ancient Egypt is one of the world's oldest and longest-lasting civilizations. African continent is the world's oldest populated area. Second, Africa's language. Arabic is spoken by 170 million people on the continent, followed in popularity by English, 130 million, French, 115 million, Swahili, 100 million, Berber, 50 million, Hausa, 50 million, Portuguese, 20 million, and Spanish, 10 million. Over 25% all languages spoken on the continent. Third, Africa's population. Africa is the second most populous continent with about 1.1 billion people, or 16% of the world's population. Over 50% of Africans are under the age of 25. The continent's population will more than double to 2.3 billion people by 2050. Thank you for watching.
Africa is the second largest continent after Asia, covering about 1/5 of the total land surface of Earth. The continent is bounded on the west by the Atlantic Ocean, on the north by the Mediterranean Sea, on the east by the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean, on the south by the mingling waters of the Atlantic and Indian Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is the second largest world's oceans with an area of about 106,460,000 square kilometers. And Mediterranean Sea is the sea connected to the Atlantic Ocean, and the Red Sea is a seawater inlet of the Indian Ocean, lying between Africa and Asia. Africa's total land is approximately 11,724,000 square miles, or 30,365,000 square kilometers. The continent measures about 5,000 miles, or 8,000 kilometers from north to south, and about 4,600 miles, or 7,400 kilometers from east to west. Of the coast of Africa, the number of islands are associated with the continent. Of these, Madagascar is one of the largest islands in the world. Other smaller islands include Seychelles, Socotra, and other island of the east is the Comoros, Mauritius, and Reunion. Seychelles is the archipelago of 115 islands in the Indian Ocean of East Africa. Socotra or Socotra is located where the Powell Canal in the Arabian Sea. It's the largest of 4 islands in Socotra archipelago. Comoros is the volcanic archipelago of Africa's east coast in the warm Indian Ocean, waters of the Mozambique Channel. Mauritius is an Indian Ocean island nation. Is known for its beaches, lagoons, and reefs. Reunion Island is a French department of Indian Ocean. It's known for its volcanic, rainforest interior, coral reefs, and beaches. And other islands to the southeast is the Ascension, St. Helena, and Tristan da Cunha. Ascension Island is an isolated volcanic island. St. Helena Island is part of the British Overseas Territory, also encompassing Ascension and Tristan da Cunha Islands, is a remote volcanic outpost in the South Atlantic Ocean. To the southwest is the Cape Verde, the Villagos Islands, Bioko and Sao Tome and Principe to west, and the Azores and the Mudeca and Canary Islands to the northwest. Cape Verde or Cabo Verde is officially the Republic of Cabo Verde, is the island country in the Central Atlantic Ocean. Visagos Islands is also spelled Bijagos, are a group of 88 islands and islets is located in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of African nation of Guinea and Bissau. Bioko is an island of Equatorial Guinea, northwest of the mainland. Sao Tome and Principe is an African island close to the equator. It's a part of a volcano chain featuring striking rock and coral formations, rainforests, and beaches. Azores is an autonomous region of Portugal. Canary Islands is a Spanish archipelago off the coast of northwestern Africa. Are rugged volcanic isles from border block and white sand beaches.
Good day everyone. So my report is about Africa's economy, people and their problems. So let's begin with Africa's economy. Did you know that only 2 African countries exported more than they imported last year? Or that Morocco led intra-African investment in 2016? These are just some of the latest realities about the continent revealed in the annual African Economic Outlook way back 2017. Africa is the world's poorest and most underdeveloped continent, with a continental GDP that accounts for just 2.4% of global GDP. China is Africa's top trade partner, with Sino-African trade volumes now reaching $200 billion per year. China's direct investment in Africa exceeds $50 billion. Neocolonialism is a real threat, with over 1 million Chinese citizens on the African continent. Angola alone has a population of over 350,000 Chinese. The economy of Africa consists of trade industry, agriculture, and human resources of the continent. So, as of 2019, approximately 1.3 billion people were living in 54 countries in Africa. According to the report, Botswana and Swaziland are the only 2 countries in Africa which aren't expected to record deficits in their 2016 current account balances. The rest are not importers of goods and services. In fact, estimates suggest that 20 of the 54 countries had double-digit current account deficits in 2016, with the highest expected in Libya that has 37.8% of GDP and Mozambique 31.1% of GDP. Nigeria and South Africa make up almost half of Africa's GDP. So now, let's proceed to Africa's people. Almost 40% of adults in Africa are illiterate, 2/3 are women. An adult literacy rates are below 50% in Benin, Burkina Faso, Chad, Ethiopia, Guinea, Mali, Niger, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. There are fewer people with internet connections in Africa than there are in just New York City. Over 25 million people are HIV positive on the continent, and over 17 million have died of the disease already. The Second Congo War claimed over 5 million lives and is the deadliest worldwide conflict since World War II. Over 240 million Africans suffer from chronic undernourishment. Water scarcity impacts the lives of over 300 million Africans, of whom approximately 75% rely on groundwater as their primary source of drinking. Global warming is aggravating the situation. Limited groundwater represents only 15% of the continent's total renewable water resources. New discoveries of groundwater resources in large sedimentary basins in Libya, Algeria, and Chad may slack Africa's growing thirst for the next few decades. So over 30% of Africa's pastoral land and almost 20% of our forests and woodlands are classified as moderately or heavily disregarded. Deforestation rates in Africa are twice the average for the rest of the world, with more than 4 million hectares of primary forest disappearing every year. Today, Africa remains the poorest and least developed continent in the world. Hunger, poverty, terrorism, local ethnic and religious conflicts, bribery, corruption, and disease outbreaks are still the country's major problems.
Good day everyone, my name is Rizal Jarboles, the travel blogger reporter of Team Apria. Hi guys, today we will know more about the Australian continent. Kaya tara na, manglagta kauban ng Team Apria. Arat na! Australian continent is the smallest and only continent covered by a single country between Pacific and Indian Ocean in Southern Hemisphere. Australia has a truly unique landscape, natural wonders, and extraordinary experiences for travelers. Trivia number 1. Melbourne was the capital city of Australia for 26 years, between 1901 to 1927, before it was shifted to Canberra. There are 8 capital cities of Australia. First is the city of Adelaide, South Australia. It is on the Gulf of St. Vincent, named after Queen Adelaide, a German-born consort of England's King William IV. Second is the city of Brisbane, Queensland. It is located on the southeastern side of state. Their population ranked first in Queensland and third among Australian cities. Third is the city of Canberra, Australian Capital Territory. It is the national capital of Australia. Geographically, Australian Capital Territory is within but not part of the state of New South Wales. Fourth is the city of Darwin, Northern Territory. It is Australia's northernmost capital city in the region, commonly referred as Top End. Fifth, Hobart, Tasmania, Australia's southernmost state. It has grown in the banks of Derwent River. Sixth is the city of Melbourne, Victoria. It is a coastal capital found in southeastern Australia. Seventh, Perth, Western Australia. Hemmed by Indian Ocean in west, and it is the most isolated capital in the world. Eighth is the city of Sydney, New South Wales. It is a city of many attractions and the first popular destination for visitors. It is also the city of iconic Sydney Opera House, Yak, and White Beaches. Here are the top 3 most famous natural attractions in Australia. First is the Great Barrier Reef. It is one of the 7 wonders in the world. It is regarded as the largest living organism. Trivia number 2. Did you know that the Great Barrier Reef is larger than the Great Wall of China? Number 2 is Mount Kosciuszko, named after Polish cultural political hero Tadeusz Kościuszko. It is the tallest mountain peak in mainland Australia, stands 2,228 meters high or 7,310 feet tall. Top 3 3 is the Daintree Rainforest, found in tropical North Queensland. It is the largest rainforest in Australia and also the oldest rainforest in the world. Trivia number 3. Did you know that the inspiration of the movie Avatar is the Daintree Rainforest? Australia is a home of different unique animals, birds, and reptiles. The two mammal animals that lay eggs to give birth can be found in Australia. These are the platypus and echidna. Next, koala. This Australian animal is often called as bear. They are also a tree-climbing animal. Trivia number 4. Did you know that koala sleeps 20 hours per day? Next is the kangaroo. There are 4 different species that can be found in Australia, but the largest is the red kangaroo. In Australia, you can also find the top 17 most poisonous snakes in the world. The Bax jellyfish can also be found in the waters of Australia, especially in the Great Barrier Reef. It is responsible for more deaths than snakes, sharks, and saltwater crocodiles. Lastly, Australia is the home of around 1,500 types of spiders, 4,400 types of ants, and 350 types of termites. So that's the end of my video about the cities, natural attractions, and wildlife of Australia. I hope you have learned something from my video. Thank you for watching. God bless!
You told me you were running late. You know I'm used to hearing sorry, but I never underestimate.
Oh, I love that!
Then I found you on the driveway at your best friend's house. And I bet you wanna drive away, but you're 10 shots down.
I can't say no to free shots.
'Cause it's the same old.
Manglaag kita, kauban ang Team Africa. The African continent has long been inhabited and has some amazing historical sites. The 7 amazing historical sites in Africa are Oردova Gorge, Thebes, Leptis Magna, Meroe, Great Zimbabwe, Raccoon Churches, Dela, and Timbuktu. My topic is about Australian people and Australia. 49% of Australians were born overseas or have at least one parent who was born overseas and moved to Australia. Someone from Sydney is called a Sydney-sider. However, a person from Melbourne is called Melbourne. Australia's Aboriginal people is estimated to have lived in the continent for roughly 50 years, but now they are just 1.5% of the total population. Despite of being a massive continent, 90% of Australian population live on the coast. Do you know the reason why? It's because the continent consists of interior vast desert. Now let's talk on the Australian Gulf. Former Australian Prime Minister Bob Hawke set Guinness World Book of Record downing 2.5 pints of beer in 11 seconds, and he recreated it during 2017. All around the world, there are a lot of beautiful oceans and beaches and even resorts. But swimming at public beaches during the day is considered illegal in Australia for about 64 years. In 2005, the government of Australia issued a ban in using the word mate in the Parliament House. But after 24 hours, they overturned the ban. They withdrew. Did you know that Australia is the second country in the whole world to grant women the right to vote? This happened in 1894. Voting in elections in Australia is compulsory, meaning everyone is enjoined. This is for 18 years old and above. Australia is very strict when it comes to election because they impose a $75 for non-voters. Despite of this fact, Australian people still manage to have 81% of eligible voters. Australia's legal drinking age is 18 years old, and Australia became a federation during the 1901. And this is the most interesting part of this report by far. Australia's first police power was made up of 12 convicts, who were judged to be the most elite. There you have it.